just want to give you a chance to kind of put this in your own words. We see teams maybe shut down guys at this stretch of the year. We saw how angry Max Crosby got when the Raiders shut him down. Why is it important for you to play in a game that maybe
for
doesn't?
Me personally?
Yeah, for you to play in a game.
Yeah, that's what I'm paid to do. I'm the quarterback of this team and paid to play on Sundays and do my job and do to the best of my ability. Doesn't matter what our record is, what the situation may be. That's my job. And it's about, I think Dan talked to us about this earlier. It's about respect. Like, not only respect for, yourself within your own team, but respect around the league. Like, we want to go out there and put something good on tape that gain a little bit of respect back from probably some of the loss of respect we've earned this year.
Dan described this as kind of like a rock bottom situation from the past 2 seasons. In comparison to the standards y'all have from yourself, what can y'all learn just from this experience as a whole? Yeah,
I'll learn a ton, man. I mean, I'd give you a better answer, maybe a week from now, but you'll go back and look at it and see, where you could have done things better, and you're constantly evaluating yourself. But I think, every guy looks internally at themselves and, how can they improve? I know I certainly will, and what ways can I be better and help our team?
Jared, does the disappointment maybe diminish the areas of growth that we've seen on this team this year?
I don't know. I mean, that's up to you guys. I think there has been good growth by certain players, certainly some of the young players, and but I don't know if we're going to take a moral victory in that. We want to be in a much different position than we are.
Isaac has had a much bigger role the last 2 weeks in terms of production. How valuable do you think this can be as a launching point for him into his second season?
Yeah, he really has turned it on this last, call it quarter, third of the season. And starting to, things are starting to click for him. It's all starting to fall into place a little bit, and it's been good. It's been really good to see, and hopefully it carries on into next year.
You're going to have all three of those guys. You're going to have Amon-Ra, Jameson, and Isaac next year. We've seen, obviously, the growth with J-Mo as well. Like, how good can that trio be?
They can be as good as anyone, man. They're a bunch of hardworking guys who are about the right stuff and love the game and do everything right. And so, there's the sky's the limit.
Personally, how do you think you have weathered the adversity? And adverse conditions sometimes that you were kind of put in with, obviously?
You said how I led?
How have you weathered?
Weathered, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the adversity.
I don't know, hopefully well, yeah. There's been challenges, but, it's part of the job, dude. It is, there's ups and downs to a season. We would have liked to get on a little bit of a stretch there at some point in the last, 8 games and be able to string a few together and get out of that adversity, but we weren't able to, and it sucks. And I wish there was a magic potion that would have fixed everything, but there isn't. It's about work and doing the right thing over and over and being on the same page and communication and execution, the whole thing. So yeah, I don't know how have I weathered it. Hopefully well, but I don't know.
What's the vibe around here been like today? We see y'all get outdoors today, but just coming back to practice, what has it been like?
It was good. It was good. We all know the situation. We all know where we're at, and we got a lot of prideful players and coaches and staff and the whole thing who want to, like I said, I think gain a little bit of respect back and go out there this Sunday and just find a way to win.
Obviously, at this point in your career, you're not leaning into having to learn new fundamentals or anything, and you haven't had too much time to decompress. But what do you think this year has taught you about yourself within an organization?
Yeah, I think the margin is just so thin, and I think we're seeing that now. Where last year, not to make a comparison, but we were on the right side of a lot of these games that were close, and you come out with 15 wins, and you have a great regular season, and then this year you're on the wrong side of a lot of these, and for our own doing, it's not because of anything else, but that margin is so thin, and I think it gives you a really good reminder of the work and the execution, communication, that whole thing. Putting in all the time and hours. In the intentional way to be able to be on the right side of those margins, and that's our whole league. Everyone's trying to do it, and you got to find a way to do it a little bit more than the other guy.
Jared, a lot of times we ask why a quarterback is a fit for a certain organization, but we don't get a chance a lot of times to ask why an organization is a fit for a quarterback. With a little bit of a regression that happened here, why do you still trust that Brad and Dan can turn these things around?
I mean, I trust those guys immensely. I don't know. I mean, they're the ones who trusted me, and I trust the hell out of them. I know they're going to get things right, and I know they are as urgent and intentional about putting us in a better position and getting us in a spot where we can win more games next year as anybody.
How much extra motivation is there going against Ben Johnson in this offense that's had such a good year?
Yeah, they've been competing, they've been balling, and we got a great opportunity to get a division win. That would be exciting, be fun, playing in the cold. One last time with this defense, it's going to be fun.
Speaking of pride within this team, though, to try to actually get one to close it out? You know, even though it's not playoff implications, anything on the line, but what's the pride within this building to get that last win?
You know, all I know is I want to really go out there and compete with this defense, you know, one last time, and that's kind of my mentality. And we had a fun year together, and I just want to end it on a good note.
Where do you feel like you guys have made strides? Where do you think you guys could get better, I guess, going into even next year and setting yourselves up for 2026?
Yeah, next year, I don't know. Next year is reserved for next year. All I know is, you know, we got one last game to kind of define this year for us, and you know, we're gonna go out there and compete.
Chicago's run game has really turned it on over this back half of the season here. What are you seeing from their rushing attack?
Yeah, I mean, they've been running the ball well, with some creativity a little bit here and there, but yeah, they've been playing at a high level for sure, and that's props to them. So we're gonna have our hands full, and we gotta go out there and you know, get after it on Sunday.
Just your school is taking a turn, a new chapter. They just hired Kyle Whittingham as the head coach. Just what are your early thoughts on that, and you know, what do you think it's going to mean for the school moving forward?
You know, I don't know much about him. He seems like a cool dude from that first interview, so hoping he can go in there and bring some stability and a winning culture.
Is it strange, like getting farther and farther away from college and maybe a little bit more disconnected from just that part of your life?
Yeah, it is. I don't know too many people left there, and I'm curious what the new coaches they bring in, who they bring in. I'm curious if I'll know any of them. So it's cool, but I'm getting older, man. It's good. It's good.
Whatever my future may hold, I don't want to make that decision now because I don't want to make it emotionally. And I want to give this last game for our season the attention it deserves. And it's like, I don't want it to be about me. It's never been about me. The game is what it is. Like, the NFL will move on whenever I decide to be done playing football. So none of that matters, and I don't want to make it about me. I want to just go out there and play with my teammates. So I don't have a timeline on any of that. But I mean, I do have some things that I'm going to have to figure out to see where I'm at. But as of right now, I'm just operating business as usual.
What are the most important factors that'll play into that decision for you?
Can I get a rain check on that till after this game? You know, because I feel like if I start getting into that, then it will end up being a headline that's about me, and it's just, I don't want that.
Does the matchup mean more because it's the last one this season?
Well, I mean, it's meaningful for me because, and I think everybody in this locker room, and I told Dave this just a little bit ago, that over the past couple of years, while this season hasn't been what we wanted it to be, winning has become the standard, then we have an opportunity to finish with a winning record. And while that's a consolation prize, that's all we can control as far as what's in front of us. So that's why it's important. And it's a privilege to play this game. And I said this to Dave too. We don't play 100 games. We play 17. So that makes every one that much more important, especially in a game that's, you know, as injury prone as this one is. If you can play, it's a privilege to play.
How do you think the Bears, you guys put the hurt on them when you played in that first
Oh yeah, I'm sure Ben wants to beat our, and he would want to do that even if they won the first game against us. That's just how he is, and you know that's why he's going to have success and be a successful coach. That being said, we want to do everything we can to beat them. And I'm happy for Ben's success. I really am. But when we play, it doesn't matter. Well, we want to beat their ass. They want to beat our ass. And if there's bad blood from the first one, that's fine. That's football. Like, that just is what it is. But all we can control is this next one ahead of us. And then after the game, I'm going to go and give them a big hug. And, you know, they're going to continue to play, and we're not. And I'm not going to be bitter about that. I'm going to be happy for him after the game, but during the game, it's business.
Do they look different than they did week 2? And in what ways are they?
They play a lot more nickel. So they're playing a lot more nickel. I think the biggest thing that we've touched on as a team is turnovers come in bunches. And if the offenses give them opportunities to get their hands on the ball, they're making those plays. And some of them are self-inflicted by the offenses, but ultimately you still got to make the plays. And they're making all the plays. When the ball's there, they're getting turnovers in bunches. They fly around, they play with energy. But I would say the biggest thing, they just play more nickel, and then I think they just gain confidence. You can just see it on film, like they're just more confident in the way they play. And their defense plays much, much better at home. So.
Have you kept in touch with Jonah?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've been happy. I've been happy for him. I know there was, he had some injury stuff going on in LA, and obviously that didn't go how he wanted. But I mean, he's been having a hell of a season. One of my favorite teammates, love him to death. So I'm happy that he's having success and playing well.